Hello, my name is Malcolm Prescott, Managing Director of Weber's Property Services, and I'm today here at West Carclaze Garden Village, which is one of the most exciting schemes, certainly that we're dealing with, and I believe actually in the West Country. I've seen very little as special as West Carclaze Garden Village, and I'm here today with Dorian Beresford, who leads this scheme, and we're going to talk a little bit today about what West Carclaze Village is all about. So Dorian, perhaps if we could maybe start and talk a little bit about the whole scheme. What's the big vision for West Carclaze Garden Village?
Sure. Go back in time a little bit on what a garden community is, because that's really important. That sets the bedrock of what we're doing here. So garden communities go a long way back to sort of Joseph Rowntree days, and they were very much about creating places for people that enhance their life. So we've got sustainability in a sort of more modern context, but back in the day there it was creating communities. So community creation's at the heart of what we do. It's the heart of our parent company, Erascan Development Holding. So we've got communities that we create across the world in Egypt, Oman, Jordan, Switzerland, Montenegro, and obviously here in Cornwall. And so our garden community is very much about something that aligns with the Cornish and West Country lifestyle, so very much the outdoors. It's about nature, it's food, it's connecting with the environment, it's taking time to disconnect from the digital world and appreciate friends and family and the environment that we're in. So the heart of what we do is creating a community placemaking, so it's making sure that we've got things that enhance people's lifestyles, so trails, allotments, gardens, orchards, traditional village lifestyle is where people come together organically, so there are mutually, or things of mutual interest for people. People might like food growing, or might like growing flowers, or might like walking, or hiking, or dog walking, or whatever it might be. So we create a platform for people to be able to come together around things that are interesting to them, very much around nature and the outdoors. There's lakes, we've got 5 beautiful lakes, 2 of which people will be able to use for swimming and stand-up paddleboarding. We'll have around 14 miles of trails. We've got obviously a school, which is a fundamental part of a community, so that'll be a net carbon zero in operation school, and that opens in Easter as well next year, and that's in partnership with Eden Project. So even the school, it's about outdoor learning. Kids have got wet weather gear and they go outside and they get their hands dirty and they learn about nature and the environment, and when they finish school and they walk around the development itself, they can rub things and know it's thyme or rosemary. And we've got a cookery book you can see in the background which is something again about local food. The cookery book's got around seasonal cooking, and if you want to cook something in summer, for example, planting things in your garden in spring. So I mean, really, it's very much the DNA of the project, and all these little things and how they come together to create places that are really supportive of giving people some extra joy in life, really.
So what you're saying is that children can actually leave home in the morning, walk to school and pick some fruit on the way to school, literally.
Yeah, pick fruits, then on the way home even, let's say there's seeing thyme or rosemary and they'll know what that is and pick some and make a focaccia when they get home. It's creating that to be a normal environment. And it is very much in a lot of the country, villages and village life. You've got people who grow fruit in their gardens and they've got too much or more than they use, and so they put the box outside and other people can come and take and benefit. So those really, they are very British values and very traditional ways of living. It's how you do that in a 21st century context where you have other things like a digital notice board that helps people to get in touch with each other and to arrange to go and do things like, as I say, dog walking, which we've got an active sort of community, people who dog walk and things like that. So
as a community then, for a new scheme, you're really working hard to create a special community where it does feel like that special space where people can grow and live together in a way that probably a lot of new schemes just simply don't deliver.
But people being at the heart of everything, and I think we are incredibly blessed that there's lots of people who understand what we're trying to do and it's attracted them, and we've got so many families that are living here. I mean, you've got brother and sister living around the corner from each other, you've got aunties and uncles, you've got mums and dads living opposite their children and their grandchildren, and most of those people weren't thinking of moving. It was one of the family members, and then the other family members saw something that spoke to them. And so at the heart of the communities, you've got this multi-generational element of families living together, and And that's really rewarding. It's the reason we do this ultimately is that we do want people to be able to enjoy a life together in a community where people care and you know each other, and you sort of move away from that transient nature of a lot of places where, you know, a home is just somewhere where you go, whereas here your home is inside of something that is supportive and calls to people.
It feels like it's really important to you and to your partners to create a real legacy that you can look back and say that's something we've created which is special and different.
Yeah, I mean, a vision is one thing for sure, but it's something that we believe in as a team. You know, we're really blessed to have a team of people who really care, and it's people who've moved their lives to Cornwall to come in and contribute to what we're doing. We do really care about the people element of it, and we don't always get things right. That's, you know, unfortunate fact of life, but we do care. Our parent company cares. It's in the ethos of what we do, and when we do bear extra costs to deliver the extra value for people, but it means that we do get to make a difference, and sustainability isn't really a choice anymore. It's something that you have to do. So our homes, as part of our sustainable community, EPCA is where we started, and then we moved on to EPCA homes that are carbon positive in operation, and you know, it's a constant evolution and constant drive and want from us to get better at what we're doing.
I was going to say that we've already had a very successful first phase here in West Carclaze Garden Village, and I know you're very much a person and an organisation that won't sit and rest on your laurels, that you will listen. And if you look ahead to the next phase, have you sort of made changes? Have you developed even further since the first phase?
Oh, massively. We've got, I mean, you kind of start with the homes really, because we've got this beautiful canvas that's here, and I know there's lots of videos of that, there's lots of pictures of that. They still don't do it justice. People think we Photoshop the imagery, and then they come here and realise it's even better than the images. But as far as the homes go, the thought we put into listening to people, our most popular house types are clover, and we've dramatically improved that. I mean, huge improvements in it. You know, I've shown a buyer around their home that's been built a couple of weeks ago, and it's immensely satisfying when someone walks up the stairs, walks into what's going to be their bedroom, and that we've taken what was a beautiful house with a nice double bedroom and a terrace over a garden and turned it into a room with a 5.5 metre vaulted ceiling and a really big, you know, gable-ended window and a dressing area and an ensuite and a terrace, and then walk through the door and go, wow, and immediately FaceTimes a partner who couldn't make the viewing to show it to them. That excitement that that people get when they realise, you know, homes are special places, and when you can add a little bit extra for people and you see that real delight on their faces, you know, that's, you know, it's again, people is what we do it for. So that's, you know, all of the homes we've improved, and whatever the house type, even if it's the most popular, we haven't just said, oh, we can sell it 10 times over. We wanted to make improvements. Then we changed our energy strategy completely as well. So we went from EPCA homes to homes that are EPCA but carbon positive in operation. So it means that they generate more clean green energy than they use.
Right.
So over the course of a year, there's a surplus of electricity. We've got air source heat pumps, we've got underfloor heating, we've got battery storage, inverters, nearly 3 times more solar panels than we had over here. Real massive changes to how we build the houses and the value in them, and those long-term ownership or even short-term ownership where you really won't have an energy bill for a year.
It's interesting you should talk about that, because I know from an agency point of view, when we first started to work on the scheme, talking to Hannah Marie who work on the site here, it was really, really important, and a lot of the buyers that we were talking to initially were so interested to talk about the fact that you properly do energy efficient. You know, it's bandied around quite a lot that, you know, this is an energy efficient home, but you really take it to a different level, and I do think that it's important to mention the difference between really doing it and just saying you're doing it. Is that fair?
I think it's more so now. Greenwashing is a thing. We don't talk down what other people do, but it's really frustrating for us when you see the words bandied around like low carbon ready or sustainable homes, and they're not sustainable. They don't have real sustainability credentials. It means that there's a kind of minimum hurdle that's been met of making sure you can put a boiler in that's hydrogen ready, for example. So we're having to work a lot harder to separate ourselves from the noise when we're the people that really are. I mean, our homes are very similarly priced to other homes, but we do have air source heat pumps and underfloor heating and lots of solar panels on the roof, a battery, inverters. We provide a full suite of appliances, flooring, turfing. So it's not just the sustainability part. You know, we want someone to be able to move into a home with their furniture and make it their home and not have to worry about the cost of these other things as well.
Sure. Looking longer term, I know that the plan in the long-term future is to have essentially a village centre, you know, a proper heart to the centre. What can the people expect, what could buyers expect longer term when we get to that point later on?
Sure. And over time, when you have big projects, you evolve with the times as well. So originally there was an intention for one village centre. We're going to have two. So we'll have a smaller village centre near the school, because it's appropriate to have a village square and some amenities and facilities that are there. Then on the other side of the site, between two lakes, there'll be somewhere that has got a bit more of a lifestyle element to it: shops, bars, restaurants, beautiful restaurant overlooking the lake, a pub, a food hall, and then you've got the functional stuff that you need, like a supermarket and a dentist and hairdressers and all of those kind of things as well. So there's going to be a mixture of things. And again, when you want to try and create value to people, you want to bring things that aren't around. So we are a big project, and part of our challenge is balancing when we do things, because we've got to think about the value we can present to a potential business owner as well. So there's a certain number of homes you want to build, and you demonstrate a certain number of residents and a certain type of residents, and then we can attract things that we might not get otherwise, or might not get in Cornwall even, and turn it into a real value add for people that may be just trying to do a little bit of the same.
So here I am at Carludden, which is the second active phase that we're dealing with at the moment. And believe it or not, where I'm standing at the moment, this time next year will be someone's garden. That's how close we are to the lake that's behind and the stunning view. This is a south-facing garden. So the sun is going to rise over here and it's going to set over there. So the change in light during the day will be stunning. And as I've expressed in my earlier section, there are so few schemes. In fact, I can't think of any that offer this type of feature. Dorian, we've spoken about how you've listened and developed the properties as you've built, and we're now in the clover, and the difference between the clover here and previous is huge. But just talk us through what you've done here.
Sure. The biggest change is here in the master suite. So using the word suite because we had a double bedroom before, perfectly lovely and really nice space. But we wanted to add a bit of wow factor, you know, like mum and dad's room, somewhere quite special. So it is more like a suite. You've got these huge 5-meter vaulted ceilings. You've got this beautiful big glazed wall. You've got room for a dressing area. You've still got the access out to what will be the garage, the terrace over the garage. Again, you're seeing that on the other side. And then the ensuite that's in there. So we've made the unit a bit bigger, generally across the board, so we have some more room downstairs. But really the big change is in this room, where we really wanted to,
as you say, it's made it more of a suite than just a double bedroom, just a master bedroom.
Absolutely.
More than that, isn't it?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, and that's the intention, is just try and give a bit more value to people. And it's been such a lovely space with all this light, and it's just, as I said earlier, this is one of the rooms that people walk into and go, wow. They just don't think they're going to get a house for £375,000 that has this in, along with the terrace and the big space, and then obviously it hardly costs them anything for their energy bill for the year.
No, I think it's wonderful, and I genuinely can't think of any schemes where you would expect to have a ceiling, a vaulted ceiling like this with the glass, with the ability to walk out onto a terrace and enjoy a drink in the evening and still see over the lake. I mean, it's fantastic. So Dorian, one of the big upgrades that we've spoken about in terms of the energy package that these new homes will is right here with the air source heat pump. Can you talk to us a little bit about the changes you've made there?
Sure. So in our technology in the homes in general, we've made leaps and bounds in improvements, primarily driven by the fact that we couldn't afford them in the first phase. Prices for these kind of things have come down, but we do invest a lot more in these. It's an important or fundamental part of the homes being sustainable. So the air source heat pump, it takes heat from the outside air and it can generate heat from minus 15 degrees centigrade. It's around 400% efficiency, so for every 1 kilowatt you put into it, it generates 4 kilowatts of heat. So a gas boiler, for example, is around 100% efficient, slightly less. So really, really efficient, and that's one of the ways that the houses have lower running costs, is it takes less energy. So when you combine that with the solar panels on the roof and the battery and the inverter, those do a lot of the heavy lifting of how the homes cost next to nothing, and also save 7.5 tons of carbon on average. So we're going to have a look at the battery and inverter now.
Excellent. So now coming into the house, Dorian, talk to me about the battery inverter, because a lot of people talk about it, but I'm not quite sure people actually know what they do and how they do it.
Sure. So you've got two components in here. One's a battery and one's the inverter. So what the inverter does is it takes the DC current from the roof, because solar panels produce electricity in direct current, and it turns it into alternating current, which you can use throughout the house. And also, because it's an AC hybrid inverter, as it's called, it means you can buy electricity in from the grid at cheap prices on low tariffs and use it in the home when electricity is more expensive. So you can top your battery up, you can discharge your battery and sell to the grid also. So there's a bit of trading that can be done, which is another reason why during the summer you generate in excess and you make some money, in the winter you spend some money on bringing it in. Over the course of the year, it keeps your energy bills really, really low. The other part is the battery, as I've just said, and that really just stores the electricity that's generated. So if you're out working in the day, beautiful sunny day like today, battery will be fully charged, you'll have generated in excess, which has gone into the grid. And then you can top it up overnight as well when the tariffs are really low. But the energy providers are coming out with lots of different tariffs for these things as well. Great if you've got electric cars also.
Yeah. Excellent. Sounds wonderful. So we're now in the hallway, and in behind this lovely door we've got a very smart, very latest smart hub, Samsung. Can you talk to us a little bit about what this does? Because this really is the latest thing, isn't it?
Yes, this is the Samsung Climate Hub. This controls your heating and hot water. It is really smart. I mean, it's Wi-Fi enabled. It's got your water tank in there as well. And as you walk into each of the rooms and the hallways, every zone has its own individual thermostatic control. Part of our relationship is we've got a partnership with Samsung, who really are probably the only company that can give you one app that controls your entire house.
So it'll do the lot.
We've got, so you can set your heating times and all of those kind of things on there. You can see how much energy this is using as well. So you can see your whole house energy usage on the app. You can control every single room in the house with its own temperature from the app. You can see how much battery storage you've got, so what the level of your battery is, what the discharge rate of your battery is, how much electricity your solar panels are generating. You can see when you've got upgraded appliances, you're able to connect to them, see how much they cost to run. You can run routines on them. So literally with one app, the Ring doorbells even. So the Ring doorbell you can set, it's natively integrated. If you're watching TV, you can set it to pop up in the corner. You can have it on your phones. If you've got one of the latest fridges, it's on the fridge. I mean, it's a whole world in one app.
So is this all part of this? We've spoken about how you've evolved and continue to improve. Is this all part of that process? This is another addition to what you've doing?
It's a big enhancement. This drives the underfloor heating. So all of our homes have got underfloor heating, whether it be the ground floor, first floor, second floor in the homes as well, because it's a very efficient way of heating the homes. So it's a lower ambient temperature for a longer period of time, which is perfect for how air source heat pumps work. So this whole ecosystem that we've got is designed so that it's one app. Our chairman, Alex, has got 14 apps. So Alex is, he's a chairman of an eco company, the place that builds sustainable development. Well, he's envious. He literally is envious. If he could do it again, he would. He's got apps for his air source heat pumps, for his cylinder, for his tank, for his PV on the roofs. I mean, you can't get one app that connects everything together and says you've generated this much, you've used this much, this is your surplus. You can see how much money you've made, you can see where your energy goes, that your washer dryer's used 2 pounds of electricity. I mean, it's you know, a lot of detail if you want it, a little bit of detail if you want a little bit of detail. If you want to set routines up in your house, then you can do things like if this happens, then do this. You can have it geo-linked so it knows when you're coming home, and so it will start heating up knowing it's going to take you 20 minutes. The technology is evolving so that it starts analysing weather patterns and optimising your heat pump based on humidity in the air. I mean, Samsung. Well, it's Samsung. It's one of the biggest brands in the world. So our partnership with them was to future-proof the homes and allow people to keep benefiting from the evolution that's happening, you know, where life is being made easier with technology. And so, you know, we've had smartphones, smart cars, dumb homes, and now we've got smart homes as well.
Yeah. You know, I can honestly say that from an agency point of view, who obviously looking after lots of property in the market across the whole of the Southwest region, this has been a learning experience for me, for us as a company, to see how homes are developing in terms of this smart technology. And believe me, if you're moving on to this scheme, you will find the very latest technology that will take you into the future. It's hugely impressive. Thanks very much.